Well, this is going to be a review of Allbabiesarerapist book, How to Lose Friends and Annihilate People. He used to be known as L1981X. Leave a link to his channel, leave a link to the book. I'm going to review this book without trying to spoilise it too much, but there are things that I'm going to have to cover for this review to make any sort of sense. So, if you want a total not spoilerized review, here you go. I thought the book was pretty good. I thought I think it might offend some people, but I'm very difficult to offend. There you go. That's my non-spoilerized. This is going to be semi-spoil. I'm not going to spoil the plot or anything for you. It's that certain plot points are going to come up, and I'm going to have to address them because they might offend some people, and I have to address that. Okay, first bit. The first section reminded me of Blade a little bit with the hospital and the dance sequence being so close together like that, but again, that's just a thematic point. It's more like Neil Gaiman, who, if anybody likes his stuff, is more like writing supernatural stuff, but in sort of like a naturalistic setting. So it's more like things made wooden literal, combined with I would say Dario Argento is probably the one, because there's a lot of things that very flashy, very there are images that come and go, very very scary, but also very engaging. I'd say that was the thing that most struck me. Now, especially if you see something like Suspiria, where that sort of thing is definitely in there. And then after the hospital scene, it goes all the Omen, basically. It's basically what happens if Damien the kid was grown up and he found out he was the son of the devil, basically, and that's basically what happens. It's the son of the devil, and there's a lot of theological discussion in it. Now, where I disagree with a lot of Al's points, for example, that it's 6 literal days that the Bible said it happened 6,000 years. Let's know all of that. That's a literal fundamentalist point of view. It's not what most people who understand the Bible feel. But again, I think this is more directed to more fundamentalists. If Al is pointing towards moderates, then I think he needs to curtail that a little bit more. I know I'm probably going to get 5,000 messages saying, but he's directed it towards a traditional point of view. Well, it's not actually. What he's projected towards is a more fundamentalist view, which didn't really exist when the Bible was actually written. That's the problem. However, I think it tackles the observatism of creationism a lot. Then it deals with Jesus in some depth, though not as much depth as I want, because again, we keep on hearing how bad, what Jesus was doing was bad, and what the Bible says is bad. But again, it depends, because again, if you're taking it wooden literal, then yeah, but again, you don't take any text wooden literal. You have to read it in context of when it was written, blah blah blah. However, I didn't mind that part because I read it as some more like fiction against fundamentalism. And then in the middle part, it goes very anti-Catholic. No, I'm not calling. I'm not going to say it's bigoted against Catholics because, again, I've had numerous conversations with Al that I don't think he's necessarily bigoted anti-Catholic against Catholics. I just think he's just anti-Catholic. It says that he seems to think that Pope Benedict should be to blame for all what the Catholic Church has done. Which is silly, because again the different churches of the Vatican, the different understandings of the Vatican. Again, there are a lot of Catholics out there who don't support necessarily the current Pope, but support what the Vatican does in to the ministryism and charity work and all that sort of stuff, and they actually do good charity work. Then it goes into trials and tribulations and people worshipping a new religion. Yeah, it's very Hitchhiker's Guide in that sense. Now again, I didn't find it offensive at all. I think it was directed more at fundamentalists than it was at me. I think it's people who hold to this woodenly literal view, which I don't. I think it was, again, if I wanted to say, oh, it was directed towards you, because it wants you to think about this, that and the other, again, I could always say what I got out of it. Did it make me think about my faith? In some ways no. Because, again, I don't agree with any of the things that most of the Christians say in Al's book. I think those points are more for fundamentalists. I'm not a fundamentalist, so I don't really feel that those points apply to me. And I know that's very cop-outish, but that's how I feel. You know, it's like me making a video against Cal Purpose or expecting Al to respond to it. You know, it just isn't going to work because again, we come from the people in this book come from completely different theological universe from me. It's just the way things are. However, I would say it's a decent read, though if you are Catholic, you may want to go in this with a word of warning, and that word of warning is I'm not going to say tremendously anti-Catholic, I'm just going to say it does themes that are anti-Catholic, and there is no shirking that that reading. However, I would say it's well written. It's there are characters like I like Delia a lot. Delia. I'm not again. As for the person who turns out, I'm not going to spoil who that is. He's a bit of a prick. Let's put it that way. He's a bit of a prick. As he's very self-righteous, he's not. It's like because you expect someone who's the son of the devil to be very sneaky, and blah, 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 but he's not. But I think that's maybe one of the book's strengths is that he pays against your expectations of what the son of the devil is going to be like. I'd say it's a good first piece of work. I won't say it's a polemic against religion necessarily. I think it's more a polemic against maybe fundamentalism. Again, I don't want to read something into the book that isn't there. But I would advise you go subscribe to Al, go buy the book, and make your own mind up. Again, you may disagree with everything I've just said in my review, but again, I can only say how I reacted to it. Anyway, this is Phoneybeetlemaniacxs, Apologies, Michael True out.